This is not the quick speed shop. Check it out. You can see the back doors of the van because I whipped the thing around in the driveway in the snow and the cold. We're going to start working on the back of this thing. I'm in the home stretch of fabrication. Just got a couple things to do, and then we'll get this thing ready to go and get fired up. But I've turned it around. We're working on the back of the van. This time at the quick speed shop. I'm a professional. Don't try this at home. Alright, bam, the time's come. I've finished up the front pretty much of the van, and I want to push it outside and turn it around. It's not running yet, the gas tank's still out of it, but there's a big snowstorm coming tonight. It's going to snow like a foot or more, and I'm not going to be able to turn this thing around, and I'm ready. So I'm going to brave the cold weather today. It's like freaking 18, 20 degrees out. I'm going to try to push this thing out in the driveway and turn it around, so let's try it. The thing's heavier than it looks. Whew. Thing's way heavier than it looks. I thought it would push easier than that with the new brakes that aren't dragging. Holy moly. Hope I can turn the stupid thing around. Last time I did it with a Jeep and dragged it around with my Wrangler with a strap. Might have to do that again. I don't know. We'll see. Ay, ay, ay. First time I've seen this thing with a new stance. It's got a 2 to 3 inch rake on the front up there with the different size tires and the way the suspension is. Man, it looks pretty good. Finally, I made it in here. Man, that was tough. Whew, got it inside just in time. It's a couple hours later. I had to go to dinner and stuff, but here is the van turned around, and we're going to start working on the back of this thing. I've already put the rear bumper on. I did that a little while ago. I had that off doing the body mount removal. Got some blue dot taillights, or blue dots in the taillights I put in a couple videos ago. You see some tape on the door here. That's protecting the paint for something I got coming up. Before we get into doing some add-on action here, I got some tricks for the back of the van. But right now, what I want to do is finish my inside work. We've got some more rust repair to do here. These vans always rust out in this back body mount area. They double up the steel and it collects water and rust. I've seen a bunch of vans rusted like this that were otherwise in nice shape. I've got a bunch of screws I got to get out of the floor where the plywood was. But this is the back. It's the bedroom where all the action happens. And just weld up, do the rest of my welding up here. I got my plates welded in for my floor, into the floor for my seats in the middle there. And then once I get all this welded up, I'm going to paint the whole inside of the van with Herculiner on the floor just to give the metal some protection before I do some other stuff. Here in the back, I think there's going to be a bulkhead area behind the middle seats, and the benches and stuff that go in here that open up to a bed. I think I'm going to build a raised floor so I can store things. Like these Formica tables will get stored down under the raised floor section when you're not using them. So it'll probably be about 4 inches tall here, and it's going to be carpeted. I'm going to bulkhead off a lot of this. There'll be a doorway to come through, like maybe with a shape cut in it, and then a curtain. There's going to be some curtains on the back windows. There's also going to be louvers on the back windows on the outside, some plastic shade louvers. So this thing will be, you know, nice and private back here when I go to shows and I open up the bed and I sleep back here. I want to have parking lot lights shining in the windows and stuff. Like when I go to Hershey, I always got to put curtains up in the window vans because the parking lot lights shine through the windows all night. So that's my plan here. So just a little bit more welding and this will be done. I got to put the gas tank is out of it here. I'll put the gas tank back in once my welding is done. I've got to build dual exhaust. It's going to come out the back. It's going to come down the passenger side. Right now it's a 3-inch muffler and a 3-inch pipe that just ends in the middle of the van that I added off camera. I'm going to be crossing over and having dual exhaust, 2 1/4-inch dual exhaust coming out both sides. That'll be a video, and really close to getting this thing ready to fire up and move around. Once I get the gas tank back in, I'm putting a new fuel tank in this rear tank. There's 2 fuel pumps in this van. There's a lift pump in this tank, and then there's a higher pressure pump on the frame rail. And either one or both, I'm not sure. That one I can't hear, it's not running for sure. And this one, I've got a new one for here to go in the tank, and then I'll probably have to replace the one on the frame rail as well. Since this van is fuel injected, it has the 2 pumps like it did in the 80s. Uh-oh, look at this. A little preview of what I want to do on the back of this van. I ordered up a spare tire mount and a ladder here, and I'm not going to mount them in this video. It's going to be in a future video. But I've just set it on here. That's why the tape was on here, so I didn't wreck the paint on the door. But you can see, so what they would have had, you got a roof rack on your roof, which this van doesn't have, but a lot of these vans you saw back in the day, they would have the ladder to get up onto the roof rack. And then, since I got the bed in the back, the spare tire used to mount inside the quarter panel on this side. There's no way to mount the spare. I've got a tire mounted up on this mag wheel that matches the rest of them. So I got the spare tire carrier, which hangs on the door hinges, and then there's going to be 2 bolts into the door. I'm also going to be getting plastic window louvers for the back windows too, and they look like they should clear here and clear here. But I'm trying to load this thing up with some of the 70s accessories you would see on these custom vans. The problem is, I also like the clean look of the doors. And I'm definitely going to put the louvers on regardless. I like the window louvers, but it's also a cleaner look if you have the door without the ladder and without the spare, and you just got the back of the van smooth with the louvers on it. That's a good look too. So I'm still playing around. I bought these things because you never know when stuff's going to be out of production or have a problem getting it. So I bought these. They're made by Surco in Los Angeles, SURCO, and I bought them online. The ladder was, I think, $124, and the spare tire carrier is $100. So I wanted to just get them to have them so I can get options here. You never know with the supply chain issues. You never know what's going to happen. So I got them here. So I'm just getting an eyeball here before the end of the video to see what it looks like. Pretty cool. So I'll make my mind up in a future video. We'll do an installation on these, either spare tire and the ladder or both or whatever. I'll figure out what I want to do then. The tire off, you can see how the spare tire mount goes. It hangs just on the hinges, and then it bolts through a plate, bolts through the door here, which I just got to clamp down there. But when you open your door, the tire swings away with the door, nice and free and clear. So this is a nice piece. It's powder coated, all welded up, made in Los Angeles. Surco, the same place. So there's adjustments here. We'll get into this when we do an installation video. But it should make a pretty strong mount because it sits right on these hinges. These hinges are pretty beefy, and then when you bolt it through the door, you it locks it in place real good. And the wheel doesn't weigh that much. I got the aluminum wheel. You know, a lot of times these vans, when they're the conversion vans from the factory, they would have steel wheels hanging on these, and they did all right there. So I'm gonna take this off too. Whoop, just like that. These vans are got an attractive back end. I think when they're clean too. Obviously, when I got the louvers on there, they'll be permanent, but it's also pretty clean without anything on the back of the van. So that's my dilemma: is do I put the spare on the back versus just having it inside? Do I put the ladder on? Do I put them all on? Do I just do one or the other? You know, put the spare on but no ladder. I don't know. So that's what I got. That's what I got to think about. Because once I'm drilling holes in the door and stuff, I'm committed. So I want to make sure I want to do it the right way. But this is awful clean back here without it on there. So maybe in the comments you guys can let me know what you think. I'm not sure yet. It's all acceptable. It's just got to figure out what I want to do. That's about it for today. It was all I could do to move the stupid thing around. Once I get it going, it'll be I should be real close to getting it fired up. I've got the all the wiring put back together, ignitions in there and everything, and then when I was at the junkyard getting some parts, I bought a used battery that's only a couple months old, so I got a battery for this thing now. As soon as I get done welding the floor up, I'll put the fuel tank back in it, and then I will be able to start it, and it should run, and then I can move it around under its own power, which would be a lot more beneficial. So that's about it. Thanks for watching. A little bit shorter one today probably, but we'll get back working on the Boogie van here and get this thing kicked out so we can be on the road cruising in the Boogie van for springtime. So until next time, we'll see you right here at the Quick Speed Shop.